Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do this. We've done this house before. This is the iconic house in Essex that many artists paint, and I thought it would be really fun to do it in the winter. So let's start with the sky. Some phthalo blue in the sky at the top. Just run a bead across that, and we want to leave a space for that cloud. So I'm using cobalt blue on the bottom here. Just a little variation in the blues, and then get a lot of water on your brush and sort of combine those two shapes with that space of white in the middle. I'm painting around the house, but I just went over the rooftop. The rooftop is reflecting the sky anyway, so if we get some of that blue up there, it's not going to hurt. All right, so you can see I'm just running some water basically across that white cloud and getting some nice soft edges. That's what we want. And then I'm using the same blue. This is the phthalo blue, Windsor blue. I'm using in the reflection, there's water there. The Ipswich River comes in, and there's some water there, and that's reflecting the house. So I'm painting using some phthalo blue to reflect the sky in that piece of water that's broken through the ice. You can see that there. That's the reflection. And I'm mixing a little darker color here. This is ultramarine blue with just a touch of quinacridone sienna. I want to get a nice shadow color here. That's the shadow side of the house reflecting in the water. We should make it a little bit darker, and maybe we will later when it dries, because it's going to dry much later. Okay, just put a couple of a little bit of movement in the water there, you know, to show its reflection. All right. All right, we're going to paint the background hills here. And I'm using the same gray, ultramarine blue with some quinacridone sienna and a little touch of raw sienna mixed into that. And this is the background hill. You know, I'm painting it lighter than it looks here, much lighter, because I want to send it back. I want it to go back. And all right, just that little piece, and we'll put those trees in later on. And then there's a little see-through of the porch. You can see through the porch into that back piece, and that's nice. It just sort of ends that, brings that porch out. And we have the same thing on the other side of the house. There's trees, the background trees in the back, and I'm using the same color, ultramarine blue, and I'm mixing some quinacridone sienna into it, some raw sienna into it. All right, you can see a little bit of raw sienna there. Keep a nice mix. You don't need it to be all one tone. You know, let the colors mix each other, and it makes it much more interesting painting. We have that same sort of peek through here where you can see through the porch and just barely see some of those trees peeking through. Okay. All right, I'm using some raw sienna here and just a touch of quin sienna. The quin sienna is on the edge, you know, it makes it nice and dark. And if you want, you can put in, you know, a little touch of cobalt blue into it, which I did here. I just picked it up, that was on my palette. And that's the grass that's peeking through the snow that's on the ground here. All right, we have the side of the building there in the house is all in shade. So I mixed up a shade color here. This is gray. I put that on. It's a little bit too dark, which is okay. I was going to take it out, but I'm going to leave it for you so you can see how we fix that. And it's just, you know, remember, it's just water and paint, so we want to get it lighter, so we want to add a little bit of water to it. And it's all shade under there. You can see the blue, nice gray, and I'm picking up with my dry brush, just picking up some of the color upstairs where I made it too dark. So you can see that's the shade on the side of the porch. There's a little shade underneath the roof there. And also there's shade underneath the roof on the side of the porch that's getting all the light. So you want to be careful about that and just paint around those posts. That's the railing. And again, I'm taking really just water and lightening that before it dries too much. Bringing it all down. It's still not dark enough. I'm going to have to go back and put some more color on that roof. All right, we're mixing up again some raw sienna with a little bit of cobalt blue in it. This is for the grass that's on the side and the front of the house here. There's a space where it's all grass and the snow didn't stick to it, so I'm using a little quinacridone sienna on the base of it, which is in shadow and much darker, and then raw sienna with a little bit of cobalt blue in it to gray it down a little bit. Some little vertical strokes there to give the effect of grass. Okay, and that goes all the way across, and then, all right, we're mixing up, this is the earth showing through the snow, where the snow did not cover the bank of the river, which is always moist and damp, so it melts the snow pretty much. This is quinacridone sienna and ultramarine blue. Gives you that beautiful, it'll give you a black if you mix them evenly and don't use much water. But we want a combination again of the colors. It's not all one color. It's over here. It has a little more light, so it might, you know, show that it's a little warmer. You can see the quinacridone sienna coming through there. And you want a mixture of the both. Some of it's much darker, getting more light. Some of it's much lighter. All right, so that's the flat land with the ground showing through, and then all that white is snow. I'm gonna go back and cover that, but first I want to get this roof down a little more, a little darker. All right, you can see I took a little bit of cad red and popped in those chimneys. And now there's a piece of the front porch roof that's not covered with snow and coming through there. All right, popping in the windows. And these are the windows under the roof on the porch on the side. Little shadow on the porch. This is just all shadow color, you know, basically ultramarine blue with, you could use red, or you could use a little bit of raw sienna. Get a nice warm look. And this is the the porch, the dark porch in the front. All right, it's a fun painting. You know, that house is so popular, and because it's so much fun to paint, and the way that it, you know, the light hits it. All right, a little bit of shadow under that eave. All right, here's the third time. Keep painting this roof and trying to get it down, but that looks pretty good. All right, I mixed up a shadow color for the snow. It's a violet. It's cobalt blue with just a touch of rose. Give you a violet. It's just the reflection of the sky on the snow, and you want to leave the edges of the snow whiter color, and it looks like the light is hitting it, so it dries nice and flat. All right, I'm putting some trees in. Obviously that background hill is dry, totally dry, so I mixed up, again, ultramarine blue with a little bit of sienna, and just using a fine tip brush here. You don't really need these trees, you know, the trees are there, so we're putting them in, but you don't need them for this painting. They're not adding anything to the painting except the landscape there. That it does have the trees, but it honestly doesn't add a lot. So, you know, if you don't want to put them in, you don't have to. It's not going to change your painting very much. A little bit of shadow on the chimneys, on the roof from the chimneys. And just a little more work on the reflection. All right, so there you have it. There's the finished painting. That was a lot of fun. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We will see you again very soon.